we're on. Hello, hi, everyone. Welcome back to Better Than Heroes. We just wanted to make everyone feel super at home by throwing in a quick hot mic there for a second to just keep our traditions alive. So just a little callback for everyone who's been here since the beginning. But real quick, just to, we took last week off to say something a little serious for a second. I just wanted to quickly thank all the folks who protested this last week against police violence and the murder of George Floyd. Police brutality is a systematic problem in this country, and Black Lives Matter. If you haven't been able to protest, we suggest donating to your local bail fund if you can. This month we are going to donate all the proceeds from our Patreon that we've put up to a couple different bail funds. So thank you all for being here with us. Thank everyone for doing what they're doing, and let's go to space for a little bit. Jordan, do you want to shout out our sponsor real quick? Wow, you're doing the work and doing the work. Oh, God. I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I wasn't muted, though, so we were at least going. Okay, so now go ahead, Jordan. Sorry about that. No. Huh. Oh, fun. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just do it then. Big shout out to Big Top, who, as Jordan has said twice now, is in the chat. So thank you so much for that. Can someone talk real quick to see if we got it?
Hey,
Harlan and I
talking. I fucking can't get enough of it.
Harlan and I have
I just want to note, I did unmute you. It was a different issue. So I have lots of problems. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Me too, I don't know if I can be heard or not, but I'll go ahead and make this announcement. Harlan and I
feel heard.
A new show on here in podcast called The Dungeon. It's Thursdays at 5:30. We chat with dungeon masters about running games and stuff. I just choked on a Brussels sprout.
That's that. They always said that was how he was gonna go.
That you were keeping in your cloaca?
I guess it was hiding out in my throat. Gross. Anyway, Thursdays at 5:30, The Dungeon. Check it out. It's right here on our channel.
Yeah.
It was
also, follow me. I'm at Razor Lou on Twitch. I need to get 50 followers.
Jordan
Go follow
is still
me.
muted according to chat.
Yeah, I'm the best. What? I'm the best one.
Yeah.
I'm the Michelangelo.
Wait. Karen.
People are just
Karen says he's good. People
Okay.
are
Jordan is muted on his end.
Oh, damn it, chat.
Someone
all right, everybody's here.
Okay, can we hear Rachel? Can Rachel?
I mean, it seems like they can hear me.
I think we're good.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Thank you for sound checking us, chat.
We appreciate it. We'll do it in the future.
I know everyone's so lovely and patient. But yeah, let's we're gonna go ahead and roll our intro then real quick and hop into this game. See you soon.
Hell yeah.
Hi, we're back. The lag on that opening video made me even more mad at my internet person who I talked to on the phone for 3 hours today. Anyway, let's jump into our recap. Kai, do you want to?
I would love to. Last week on Better Than Heroes, we find our crew in mortal danger upon a remote asteroid oasis as Klik, Flute, K.A.I, and Moonboy explored the wreckage of a crashed vessel. They were set upon by a hulking, burrowing, shark-like monster called a Bulette. The crew narrowly defeated the beast, though Moonboy was knocked unconscious in the deadly encounter. Soon after, they discovered that the entity they thought was the crash's sole survivor was in fact some rare species of shape-shifting ooze that absorbed new forms and memories by devouring living beings. After locking the angry ooze in a closet, K.A.I managed to calm it down. The dinger approached the surface as the crew prepared to report what they had seen. Ellipsis. Did you hear that?
Great. Yes.
I love you.
I get lost in it because I just like am following along, and then I'm like, oh yes, I'm supposed to talk.
No, you go.
Right, I'm God.
So yes, you all are underneath your golden ship, which is hovering above you all as it flew in. Your ship, known as the Dinger, as it flew in after the battle you had with the Bulette, and a large ladder, rope ladder, kind of 30 feet down, unravels itself in front of you all, and you all would know, as you've worked on the ship for a while now, that the routine here is for you all to go ahead and go back onto the ship to check in with the captain, check in about everything, and then before you continue on. So
Sure.
you all can whoop, 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 up.
And just to verify, that harp got hoisted up, right?
Yes. Did you? Yes. There's.
Yeah.
You would be.
I was carrying it.
Cool. Yeah, you would be very familiar with the
Ultimately-
tactics of like how to get something
Hoist a harp.
heavy. Yeah, hoist a harp.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, or anything, yeah, but especially a harp.
Harp hoistsmanship.
So you all climb up there, and you crest the edge of the ship, and you see Goliathan is not out on the deck because you would know he's inside of the his quarters, spell jamming, flying the ship, using his spell casting ability to make the ship fly. But you all do have sending stones, so you can communicate with him.
Sure.
But the giant goat, and your other compatriots, the kobold is nowhere to be seen. She's down below deck, but Relic, the halfling who mans the giant crossbow, is up there and has kind of like got out of his seat that is attached to the ballista shooter, and both of them are over there, and they're like, Goat's like, seems like you guys are okay. It sounded pretty gnarly. Were you guys okay?
I had to fight a giant shark.
Yeah. It was a land shark, man.
It was messed up.
Candygram. You know what I mean?
Nothing we couldn't handle, though.
I found a harp.
Yeah,
True.
the large harp is
Yeah.
sitting right next to you all, and Relic looks at it and is like, oh, whoa. And he kind of comes over and investigates it while you all are talking. And Goat says, well, do you all have the verdict? Do we need to go down and loot some more? What's the move?
We also found, there's an ooze that we
Yeah, slimes. The place
met,
is-
it's some kind of shapeshifter, and he's sad.
Crawling with slimes. What do you know about slimes, Goat?
I have eaten plenty of slimes. None
You
of
look
them-
like the type of person who's eaten a slime or two.
You were correct. You know me well, Moonboy.
What
And she
happened?
kind of ruffles your head a little bit. She's like, but
I saw ya.
I don't often eat living oozes. They're usually caustic.
This
Well,
one-
be careful, because, this one will eat you.
Eat you right
It's a
back.
chance. Well, but he swears he won't. I don't know.
It seemed pretty evil. It seemed secretly
I
evil.
don't
at the very
know.
least.
He seemed misunderstood.
Relic's
Once
like,
he found out that people don't like to be eaten, he said he wouldn't do it anymore.
Relic kind of interrupts you all, and he goes, "I'm sorry. What are we discussing here?"
The slime. Did it have a name? Should we name it?
Ooze man.
Ooze Man. Let's call it Larry the Ooze Man.
Okay. You can call it whatever you want. Is it something that's going to try and kill us? Should we be running right now?
No, we locked it in the closet.
Oh,
It seems to be sort of all-powerfully dangerous, but quite
great.
contained by
Yes.
a closet.
You think
that
so?
one.
I'm going to take off my black wig and stuff it back in my knapsack, and I'm like,
At that moment, Moonboy...
They described it as a monster. Moonboy said it was a monster.
Well, how do you
You know what? Let's
categorize
ask.
who and who is not a monster?
Let's ask Flynn Rider. Where is he?
For the chat, Flute's character is often pretends to be another person.
Right.
Person.
Right as he took the wig
Windrider.
off, Moonboy was like, "Let's talk to Windrider." Where did he go? He's so cool and dashing. He always disappears right when you need him.
Oh, that's nice of you to play along.
Both Relic and Goat look worried, and they're like, "Y'all, you've trapped it. We don't need to be running. But is this a thing that we are capturing? Are we going to?
Well,
what's the?
I think we should
situation?
it
that what-
really
I bet he
wants
decides
to
to
leave. It doesn't want to live here anymore. It wants to come with us.
I think he just wants a lift.
Oh
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Relic's like, obviously that's out of the question, and kind
Or
of like,
maybe eat everyone's souls.
Well, Relic, I'm not certain that it's your decision to make.
okay, cool. Why don't let's go ask.
He's right. He's right. I'll make the decision. I say, I've got a jar in my quarters. We'll go and get it. Bring it back. We'll put him in the jar.
I've seen that jar. You shouldn't put anything alive in there.
The
It's
jar
not nice.
is for many things. The jar is multi-purpose.
We'll say.
So with that, Relic kind of grabs his sending stone, and it's like, "Girl, I think we have a hostage situation." He kind of looks at you all, like shrugs.
No.
No.
Sort of.
You all hear Goliath's voice in your head immediately, and it's like, "Well, y'all, are you asking me something? Or are we moving on? Is there more? Give me an update, please," he says as he gets confused. He's like clearly focusing on other things.
K.A.I made a friend and wants to take him home.
But it can look like anyone, and it wants to eat everything that it sees. So I think.
Listen, I promised that I would plead his case to the captain, and so that is what I will do. And if the captain decides he doesn't want to bring the ooze because he thinks it's dangerous, then that is his decision.
Also, I've got oozes down there already. We could just go get some of my oozes.
You hear Goliath's voice go, "That's nice of you, Moonboy. K.A.I, is it dangerous?"
That is up for debate. Yes, it's dangerous. Potentially. It seems to, it learns new forms that it can take with its shape-shifting ability and learns new memories by consuming living beings. However, it's promised that it wouldn't do that to any of us, and it seems really sad.
It tricked us.
Yes, it was trying to get off the planet, and it pretended to be an elf that was actually an elf that he ate.
So it ate the elves?
Yes, it ate a few elves. So has Klik, who hasn't eaten a couple of elves.
Well,
I just,
I
think
if
we
it's
should think
consuming
about
living
it.
Beings, I think that's
Not
a pass. We
currently.
don't need to take that with us, right?
I'm asking you. You're the boss.
Okay, well, I say no.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Okay, leaving dangerous ooze on the abandoned planet.
Great.
See, I was right. My decision stands.
Nice work, Captain.
Thank you.
yes.
Thanks.
Was the
Not
message that said
disappointed.
help from the ooze?
What if it's powerful and knows stuff and wants to help us? I don't know.
Did it offer you any trade of information or anything like that?
Not yet.
I don't know. I mean, Kai, you know my rules. Like, I'm trying to be the safest possible. I'm always taking the safest possible route.
I understand. And
there's
I
something
that-
realize that
He does have a big no oozes sign
Right.
on his office door.
bringing
No
aboard,
cannibalistic oozes.
bringing aboard an ooze that feeds on the sentience of other beings.
42
might be-
days since sentient eating ooze incident.
Well, maybe there won't.
You want to throw it out the window, man.
Well, if everyone feels the same, then I would not want to
I mean,
make anyone uncomfortable.
Goliathan, do you have some sort of freaky space ooze chamber?
No.
That could do you have something that could? Yes, I didn't. Does that exist? Could we find one? Could we trap an ooze?
I mean, we do have some containers. Yeah. I mean, tell me, why is this worth it? Just because
I mean,
Kai
maybe
likes them
this.
and there's maybe some.
I mean, maybe there's treasure in this that we're not seeing. People will pay good money for an undiscovered species of ooze.
All right. Let's have Kai. Let's have you roll a persuasion check with advantage now,
Okay.
because you got it. You got it there. I will say.
You
Alright.
convinced me.
Yeah. And the Moonboy's help. I want to drag it on a little bit there because I was.
Sure.
I have rolled a 19.
Oh boy! All right, I got an 18.
Oh,
Ooh,
is that
Papa's
good?
got a brand new ooze.
So
You're gonna get eaten is what's gonna happen. Probably all of us.
oh boy.
Probably me if we're being realistic here.
Okay, cool. So Goliathan will say, "Yeah, well, I see your point. This is your call, Kai. I trust your judgment. So
Oh dear. Oh. It's my call.
yeah,
Well, on one hand, I could bring the ooze on board because I feel bad for him. But on the other hand, if I do that, it seems like everyone will be mad at me.
I mean, maybe it's a cool ooze.
What does everyone think?
I think it's evil.
Well,
I think we should leave it.
But,
I think if we didn't take a chance on everything that eats an elf or two, I wouldn't be here. And Kai, you might not be here either.
well,
But I do think we should opt towards high security jar, if possible.
One of those good jars, one of the ones on the high
Yeah.
shelf.
I want so they have to push down and turn with like the child lock.
Kind
yeah.
with the metal.
Impossible for Tohr-Kreen to
A
open.
pressure jar.
I have an
Yeah.
alchemy jug. Could I put an ooze in there?
Do you actually?
I
do.
I think
It's one of my infusions.
Yeah.
Can we just out of character here? Can we spend maybe like 20 or 30 minutes, like kind of a montage of like leafing through like ooze documents and trying to see the best, like how maybe to construct some sort of a box to try to trap it in. Do you know what I mean? Some
Yeah,
kind
Needs
of
a
container.
needs a full terrarium.
No, not necessarily.
Need to
that.
have the right kind of lights, and you need a little treasure
Plastic
chest.
foliage.
Yeah, needs
Yeah.
to feel comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little
you tell me what kind of check you think you would do to like kind of rummage through the ship. To,
I
like,
guess
do this.
I guess I would be asking for Kai to do like some kind of a nature or something
Investigation,
intelligence
or nature,
based.
arcana,
Yeah, you could
history.
do nature, arcana, or just straight up intelligence.
I have a survival if you want me to roll it, because I mean, technically I think this could count as like trapping an ooze. Building a trap for an ooze would be a survival trait.
I could try an Arcana check, and maybe you could try something else.
Okay.
And while they're doing that, could I do a history check to see if I can recall ever hearing about a shape-shifting ooze? Like
yes. Why don't you and Klik both do history or nature checks? Moonboy and K.A.I, do your checks and tell me what you get.
Everyone rolling dice.
While you're rolling, for the folks, right now they're doing skill checks, which are, every character has certain stats, and these are more specific stats that they're just trying to use their abilities that they're good at to see what they know. So they're going to roll a d20. And
we're trying to narrow.
I got a 15 on my history.
There's anything useful that Harlan's holding out on us.
I've got lots of secrets.
5. Big 5 on a history check.
Okay, Klik. Yeah, you're just like you're more familiar with eating elves than you are any oozes. Flute, you have never heard of oozes that are able to take people's forms. You're familiar with something like doppelgangers, and you're familiar with something like a gelatinous cube. And there seems to be a middle ground here that's not like a fusion of the two, but is gaining traits from both. Not specifically, but you would acknowledge it as that. You've never encountered something like this before, but you're able to kind of put those pieces together where those two things are happening here. Information is being consumed, and the forms are being taken in a way that a creature like a doppelganger would do, but gelatinous. But it's the form and structure of something that is more of a gelatinous cube. So that's kind of not an answer, but still, Flute has that.
Something we've never seen before.
All right, K.A.I, Moonboy, what'd you all get?
I got a 9 on survival.
Cool. Yeah, you find some wooden containers that you pour some water in, and it just you watch it leak out, and you're like,
yeah, some bottle.
A
some
9 on
buckets.
survival with that bandana? Shit.
You've been described, Jordan.
Air
You've been described in a
conditioning
humorous fashion.
is out.
okay,
To the
K.A.I,
delight of all. I got a 16.
Okay, K.A.I, with that, you are able to you have some material, some sealant basically in your toolbox that you could take something that is like a larger preservative, like a gallon jug basically, and seal it pretty effectively. You haven't seen the full creature, so you're not sure how big it is. But you have something that's about the size of a pitcher.
One of those big 64-ounce, like Le Parfait jars for making pickles. Those
I was about to say, I'm going to have to remove the last of this batch of pickles from this jar, so you guys will be eating a lot of pickles, but I suppose I can function.
I didn't roll to look for this, but if there was an empty barrel on board the ship, Flute would know where it is.
For hiding in purposes?
Is there... No, for pretending to move shit around on the deck. Is there an empty barrel on this deck that we could use?
Well, part of the issue is that although the barrels are tight, there's something about K.A.I.'s knowledge of sentient oozes, your all's knowledge of sentient oozes combined, know that if you're actually trying to contain this in a more forcefully contained way, it would have to be in something sealed like a jar. Whereas if you're more comfortable with it having a bit of an out, then you could do
right. Friends go in the barrel, foes go in the jar.
And that's just a saying as old as time.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
You're very good. We'll let you ride in the barrel. But if you're naughty boys go in the pickle jar, okay?
Back in the jar with you.
You've been a bad ooze.
Yeah.
Into the jar.
Okay, so I imagine we're going to, befriend it? Are we going to trick a slime into a jar right now?
We're not going to trick him. We're going to present
Just
this
tell him that's the only
option.
way
If he wants to leave, he can get in the jar.
See which way it goes.
Cool. Yeah.
All
just
right,
have
so
to talk to him.
Kai, you're heading back down. Is everybody else going with him?
Yes, I'll go with him.
I'll stay up on the ship.
Great.
I think I would feel more comfortable if you came with us. You're so talented.
Yes, Flute, you've got a character page on the Instagram profile. You have to come with us, man.
Okay,
We're in the
Flute
recap and everything.
We'll put his wig back on and like slump. I'll slump my way over to the ladder.
Windrider!
Slump down against the fourth wall.
Windrider.
Oh my God! You missed so much. We've decided to capture the slime. He prattles on and tells Windrider all the things that Flute already knows.
Klik shoves a blonde curl up further underneath the wig.
Thank you.
And I imagine we're gonna go back and talk to this slime.
Yeah. So you all head back down the ladder, and Gurliathan is like asked you basically like, do you feel like this is safe? And you're kind of like, yeah, we know we've killed the boulette, and this thing is kind of trapped in this area. And you go back down into the wreckage of the ship, and you knock on the wall. I imagine you greet this trapped ooze of some sort.
Yes, you go. Tell him we named him Larry Dig Oozeman.
I'm going to kind of hang back by the opening in the back of that ship where it was damaged, just as kind of a lookout to make sure we don't get surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Sure.
cool. So when you tap at the wall, you hear again what sounds like a chorus of voices all speaking at once. Say to you like, is it you again, Kai?
Yes, hello.
I would like to just throw this out there that the Moonboy has never before been checking his gut for a sense motive harder than he is on this voice. Just saying.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will throw you a check when it feels
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, you're kind of like in the intent focus mode. I got it. And so you hear the voice say back to you like, am I allowed to come with you? And it just like kind of changes the whole time as it's speaking. I'm creeping Jordan out.
It's not like someone I would want to ride in the car with for sure.
What if they were in a jar?
Do you want some Twizzlers pull and peel? We all love them.
Well, at least we're getting that Twizzlers money with that product placement.
This isn't a headband; it's a big Twizzler.
We spoke to the boss about the prospect of having you come with us, and I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your goals and what you would like to do if we bring you with us, and just, whether you're going to eat anyone.
I have told you that I will not eat any of you.
Are you going to go around eating other people? Because that's not. We would also prefer that you can't do that.
I wish to.
You can't just eat.
I wish to know more about the world. I wish to create more of my own. I need to consume things. I am just.
Yeah. Sort of red flag after red flag, right? Kai?
So like,
I have consumed these elves. I know that you also eat beings.
Usually dead ones.
Yes, and not usually sentient ones.
My God, are Funyuns beings?
We don't typically eat sentient beings.
Klik does.
I don't.
hasn't
I
for a
eat dead
long
ones.
time.
Oh.
Well,
No, unless I like. I don't eat powerful warriors or things with personalities unless it's just like there and smells really good. But then it's already more scavengy than murder.
would you say the need to consume sentient beings' essence is your primary motivator? Would you describe that as a priority for you?
I would say that I do not know much else besides trying to better myself, and
I get that.
Can I hear this conversation from the back of the boat?
oh yeah, I mean it is like a choir like reading a script. Yeah.
I'll kind of hiss over to K.A.I.
K.A.I, tell him about books. Tell him about books.
Too. You don't think I've been waiting to talk about sneaking books to every conversation? There's books. There's a thing called books. Would you be comfortable trying to learn by absorbing the knowledge of sentient creatures that they have preserved to be consumed?
Maybe we
Does
could.
that sound good to you? Does
Maybe
that
we
tickle
could-
your fancy? Or do you have to eat their whole deal?
Maybe we could give you a book to try.
You don't eat it. You just read it.
Maybe you do.
I don't know how you... Maybe you eat it.
It says, I am willing to partake in the books.
Sure.
It like kind of thinks
He
for a
doesn't understand, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it thinks for a second, and then it kind of like pulls up a memory of something it's consumed, and it's like, yes,
Yeah.
I know that reading words allows you to also know things.
Yes.
I am not asking to consume your families or you. I am merely
Well-
asking to be taken to another place where I may run
Consume
the
them.
gauntlet of.
Dumping off a
I'm like-
murderous rampager on a random
Well-
planet is not exactly in our to-do list.
Well, now hang on. There's a couple of planets I could think of. We need.
I will agree to try your books.
I was going to say, and then maybe once in a while we could throw you on, someone's face who needs it or something.
I am not
Right.
against that.
How do you feel about jars?
Yeah.
It thinks for a second, and it says, you must contain me.
We slide it
Yeah.
forward.
Yes.
Smells like pickles. There's a loose one in there. The Moonboy's
Yeah.
like, oh, let me get that, and that fishes it out.
That was
Eats
for
it.
him? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
He doesn't
Hang on, I've got another one. He has another one in his pocket. He puts it back in.
The old pickle swap.
The old pickle swap.
Sweet for bread and butter. Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you all are willing to kind of uncork the mouse hole that you all have previously corked, it agrees to place itself inside of the jar.
All right.
I'm just like rubbing my face.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So if you uncork it, you just see this tentacle come out and go down into it, and you can almost like as it's the front of it hits the glass jar, like a face kind of forms for a second and then disappears, and you almost like
Cool.
see a stream of elven faces as it pushes itself into the jar.
Nice. It can sleep in K.A.I.'s room.
Yeah, Flute has got his eyes squeezed so shut.
And you
Wow.
Moonboy, with all of your, it seems very earnest with you. It seems very open about it. It seems to be listening to you all, and like I won't even make you roll for that. And it
Just seem
also,
to be trying.
as you uncork it as well, you just immediately are hit, Klik, you especially, with that same sulfurous smell that you smelled before. That was like when you first were around the elf, you recognized it as not an elf because of that. And it this long, almost like gooey tentacle has pulled itself fully out and completely filled up this jar.
I use my Gifka and tink it closed.
Yeah, I will spray the adhesive.
Yeah, and I put on some hand sanitizer. That was
Where'd you
freaking
buy
weird.
it from?
I made it myself. It's one of my oozes.
Cool. Okay, cool. It has willingly put itself inside of the jar, and you now have a jar of ooze, of sentient ooze.
Neat.
It's a gesture of good faith. Can I talk to him through the jar?
Yes, I thought about it for a second. I was like, why the hell not?
Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
Are you comfortable in there?
Not particularly, but
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I hurry Kai out the door, and we
Okay, all right.
gesture to start moving back toward the ship.
Was there anything else that we wanted to check here that we didn't for fear of being assimilated?
Well, I was going to ask the Ooze a couple of questions about the ship,
Okay.
since he consumed the crew.
Yeah. Okay. I'm into that.
I'm curious where this ship was going and what its purpose was and why it crashed here. You must know, having absorbed those memories.
Are you having this conversation on the ship, or are you staying down here for a bit?
I guess on the way.
Yeah, I think as we're walking, maybe.
Okay, cool. Flute, do a real quick perception check. And while that's happening, Kai, it answers, yes, I do know. I know, and it kind of is in the same way that someone is trying to think of a distant memory. It kind of takes a bit for it to tell you. It just kind of like stutters through it a little bit, but he tells you that they are an elite squad of elves that seem to be looking for something. He says he can't quite tell what it is, even from their memories, but he knows that the elves are called the Meridian Tract.
The Meridian Tract. Can somebody write that down?
Yes, everyone in chat will, I promise.
Sweet.
Yes.
Chat.
That
I got an
seems
8.
important.
I got an 18 on that
Nice.
perception.
My man.
Cool.
Nice.
You, as all of this is happening, and they kind of go out, they kind of come out, and you're keeping an eye on things, and there doesn't seem to be, there's a almost comforting amount of birds chirping and everything, as you know that if there was another boulette or something around, that it would be a bit more ominous sounding. And you're just kind of gazing off, maybe the first to go up the rope ladder too. And as you're going up and looking up and kind of trying to find the lip of it, you see just in the very, very far distance, crest through the atmosphere, what is clear to you is another kind of ship. You see something else in the sky, but it's hard to see what it is. It's hard to see what it looks like at all right now, but you just see ooh, that is not a bird or anything. That is something very far away, like moving down into the atmosphere.
I'll holler out, I guess, to Relic if he's nearby, like,
Oh, right, Relic, ship on the horizon.
When you crest the top, you see Relic is holding the sending stone and seems to be having a heated conversation with what you assume is Goliathan. And you kind of kick yourself over the top, and now you all are all on the top deck here, and you get his attention, and he's like, what? What? Not now, Flute. And when you gesture, he's like, oh, we gotta go. Let's go. As you all would know, that Goliathan especially does not like to put himself in a situation where there is at all any danger, as he likes to play it safe. And there's a lot of pirates and such out all the time on trade routes. There's a lot of everything out on, you're in space. There is space for everything. So, and often coming across other ships, especially in situations like this, is a bit spooky. Or just like the chances of it being bad are better than the chances of being good. So everyone kind of moves independently at this point to when Relic throws that note across the sending stones, and Goat pops out of the top, and Relic goes and straps himself in, and you all are preparing to get out of there.
Yeah, let's bail.
Time to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grab that ooze. Let's move.
Okay.
No
got
reason
him.
to stay behind.
Don't drop that jar.
Not going to drop the jar.
So,
Thanks, Windrider.
I'm gonna have you all do a skill check right now. And we're gonna have all 4 of you do it, and I want you to tell me how you are aiding the ship and kind of like moving quickly with your role on the ship. So if you could just go down the line, Flute, if you want to go first, or anyone who jumps in and who wants to know. It doesn't have to be like, we've talked a little bit about your roles,
Sure.
but it doesn't have to be like super specific. Just like, what are you throwing down to help out?
Given how much slacking off I do and fake work I do, can I use acrobatics to try to stay out of everyone else's way while they are doing things? I will be trying not to collide with them.
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
I got a 15.
All right, so that is a success. We're doing a skill check, so you all need to hit 3 successes before you hit 3 failures. And so we'll see how this goes. You have 1 success right now. So as you all are, moving to your spots, Flute is going to, his very known out of the way spots. In the same way that you, like, if a waiter knows how to move around the kitchen, you also know how to move around this way to just not be in people's way. All right, who wants to go next?
I will use an athletics check to try and get up to the sails as quickly as possible and start helping to get the ship ready to move.
Yeah,
quick.
Absolutely. Go for it.
25.
Oh, 25. Ooh. Yeah, you just immediately, when Relic gives you the "we're getting out of here" sign, you just whoop up in the air and land on the crossbar of the ship. I looked up nautical terms.
Tall one? The one up top? This boy.
Yeah. And up, you're just immediately like, boof, 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 because you have this huge jump speed, and you're just moving around, no problem, adjusting the sails for quick maneuver as you all are kind of move your way out and around. And so, yeah, that's going well.
I would like to use Moonboy's knowledge of the stars and the secret highways and byways of the universe to kind of pinpoint from this one to that one and spy the fastest route out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be a survival
perception?
Check? Perception? Go for it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's do a perception. All right, come on, Moonboy. Do something. Hey, he did it. Moonboy did something. 21. Perception.
All right.
Boom.
Yeah, so you are just quickly whispering, like kind of like throwing out directions here and there to folks where, especially up to Klik and even to Relic, who does some guiding up at the front there. And, you're backseat driving, but in a way that's actually helpful.
Yeah,
and
I think in a way that's kind of creepy too, where he's like calling out birds that are going to appear, and he's like, "Quickly, a pelican's about to appear off the left side of the boat, and then a gust of wind, and that way." Yeah,
yeah. There's definitely some side eye, like, how did you know that? But okay, they're kind of used to you at this point, like whipping stuff out like that. So K.A.I, we've had 3 successes, we have a success at this point, but I will give you all kind of like a little bonus bit if you get that check too.
Oh, fun. Could I use Arcana to help in the sort of magical energies of actually, instead of that, could I use my Tinker's tools to sort of help the ship run at optimum?
Yes. So I will kind of give you it's like you're like pit crewing. Like when like the piston's coming apart, get in there.
Yeah.
You are kind of able to manage a bit of the pressure points upon the ship that causes to moving quickly and maneuvering quickly to just make sure nothing at all, no one has to adjust to anything going wrong if you do this successfully. So
all right,
we're jamming, baby.
Let's roll the dice. A number that's high. 4. Total though, it's 11.
Okay.
Cool.
Ooh.
Okay.
With that, you're desperately trying to find, like, you're ready and prepared, and it's the right move. But there's just
which way does this crank turn?
Lefty Lucy, righty.
Righty Lucy. It's not connected.
Yeah, but you're doing a lot of navigation that is more about maneuvering precisely and less about full throttle. So there's just like not a lot falling apart. So you're just kind of like there, ready to go. Like, I'm happy to help.
Like
but yeah,
tightening knobs.
Yeah, doing some flute work.
It's like smoothing out the sort of landing area for the Ooze's pickle jar.
It's the carpet.
I will call you Antonio.
Harry Dig Oozman.
All right.
So you all...
I'm still going to call you Antonio.
Dig Oozman? Okay.
He says, I have many names that I have adopted from things I have consumed, but I've before knew myself as the droplet that was pulled from the pool. If you not wish to call me that, I understand. I've learned that.
Pool boy.
Janice Droplet.
Oh,
there it is.
Okay.
There it is.
All right, Janice. Please don't kill us all.
Droplet.
I love that. The droplet that was pulled from the pool.
It's very cool and terrifying.
The ship is, you all have done this many times now, but it's still kind of awe-inspiring as this huge nautical ship pulls out from the trees. You can feel the pulse of it kind of push around, and you all, you've been watching the descent of the ship, and it doesn't seem to be like coming directly toward you all. So as it's moving around this way, it seems to be sweeping the area, and you all are kind of able to manage to stay along the tree line, almost skimming yourself through, pulling around closer to where the mountain, the one single mountain on this floating asteroid is. And once you get close enough to it that you think the distance has been accomplished, you kind of pull up, the sails are moved to kind of catch that wind up as they... magic propels the ship, but the sails themselves help steer it. And as you all go up, you get closer and closer to the edge of the atmosphere, and you can see from behind you. Actually, before we have you leave this planet, let's have Klik and let's say Flute, as you are not doing enough to also be paying attention. Let's have you all do perception checks to see if you see much about this ship.
15.
19.
All right, I'm going to switch this map over real quick, just so the viewers at home can see it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you all or not. I guess I can screen share. Hold on just a second. Yeah, so you all are able to see this large ship that has wings. It has big, almost something between bat or moth. It looks insectoid, but is vicious at the same time.
Mama!
And has a big, long, almost horn coming off of it, and small little legs. I mean, it's not a creature. It is definitely a ship, but it has a very organic feeling to its construction. And you see it just moving, it's much, much bigger than your ship too. And you see it just kind of like swooping down more toward where you all used to be than where you are, as you all push toward the atmosphere. As you get higher and higher up, and you see the beach behind you.
What is it?
That where help used to be, and you hear Janice Droplet say, Oh yes, one of the elves that I ate made that. As it's kind of seems to have eyes that like just are not more like sockets, kind of pressed against the side of the jar, and it's observing the world as well from inside the jar.
Aren't you marvelous?
And you all push through the top of the atmosphere, and immediately a bubble forms around you as you all pull out. And you would be familiar with this process, though. But this is how you all are able to breathe and kind of exist in space. Is the gravity plane of the ship kind of recalibrates, is the deck again, and you see this bubble around you where you've pulled a bit of the asteroid's atmosphere with you all, and you're back out cruising in wild space. You know that you all will have to get a certain distance from the planet before you all are able to go back to terminal speed, which is the flow speed. But right now, it seems like you guys got in and out without any issues.
Goliath like we even got away.
Jamming.
Yeah, Goliath even comes across the sending stones and is like, "Be on the lookout there." But it seems like we're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Have I ever seen a ship like that?
Meet Janice.
Have I ever seen a ship like that before?
You can roll a history check.
All right.
Nope.
Nope.
All right.
I got a 6.
I was going to. I'm not asking this because he failed, but I was going to ask the same question.
You can also. Yeah, you can also. My general rule for the chat as well. In Andrew and Aaron know this from playing with me before, but like it's usually just like 2 people can always do a skill check, or you can, if you have a reason why you would help someone else too, you can kind of talk about that and give them advantage.
Okay, history.
Have any of you guys seen a ship that looks like a picture of the inside of someone's ear?
13.
13.
Not bad.
You've heard of ships that look like creatures. You've never seen one though, as they are kind of the fancy car. You know, it is an elite ship of sorts. So
Cool.
I thought you were going to stop it. You've heard of ships. What do I know? You've heard of ships.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a break there. We're gonna just take a quick, like, less than 5-minute break. Let everyone pee. Get some water. Leave the mics on, and we'll be right back. Thanks everyone. There's so many people here. We're so happy to hang out with you again.
Yay.
Love you.
Love you, chat. See you in
we'll
5.
see you in just a second. Hold on. right, we're back. I know I said that about like chat will write down Meridian Tract, and I saw like 10 very funny but wrong answers. Like, spamming other funny answers, which was great. I encourage that. Great. Okay, cool. So we're just going to jump right back in. So you all are now, you've gotten far enough away from this single floating asteroid. It's kind of, an island amongst the darkness of open space. And you're back into what is a comfortable zone for you all as a crew, is wild space. You all are moving now. It's the open road at this point, as you all are traveling from the Rock of Brawl to the Tears of Saloon, as just a cross-country merchant trip, making money along the way, and you're back to it. You're able to hit terminal speed because there's nothing around you. You're back into open space, and the world is just kind of whipping by you in this almost tunnel of far away light, that's kind of creates a colorful blur. And you all can, time is weird when you're moving so quickly, but you can feel the exhaustion of doing all the things you've done kind of hitting you. And when you're moving at this speed, you hear the door, a door that it's recognize immediately as Goliathan's door, swing open, and he has disconnected himself from the helm of the ship, and you all are kind of just continuing to move at the speed that you all were going before in this moment.
Has this ever happened before?
Yes. It seems that he's now, if, for example, if you get like kicked off of the terminal speed, if you run into something, you all will not have maneuvering capacity until, but this does happen.
Oh, it's like
kind of
cruise control.
Yes.
He's like, cool.
So it's more of just like he got it moving at this speed. He disconnected it. Like he has to take a break at some point, and so this is a common thing of like, okay, I think we're good. We're just gonna chill here for a while. You all are far enough away from the asteroid.
Man cannot live on jam alone.
Speaking of which, I've taken all of the pickles that I had to remove from the pickle jar, which is like a bunch of pickles, and I'm making sure they don't go to waste. And we've got pickle sandwiches, and
pickle dinner,
we got pickle goulash, we got pickle, all types of pickle,
Pickled pickles,
pickled pickle, pickle sandwich with pickle bread,
thrice pickled pickle holes.
Yeah, I mean,
you dared to try such a thing.
You do have an exceptional display. Like, there is a moment after you all are kind of all doing your things to decompress,
Sure.
and right before Goliathan kind of comes out to, you look over and K.A.I just all of a sudden has this tray that you don't know where he got to, and all just like the display of the pickles.
All kinds of pickles, but one of them is a cannibalistic ooze. Be careful.
Oh, oops. How'd you get out here? Yeah, it's like Iron Chef secret ingredient.
I will once again drop the Windrider persona stuff the wig away, and I'll kind of show the captain this harp that we pulled up with that guy. Captain, I secured you this harp, quite nice. I've already forgotten the make, but high quality, very high quality.
Pretty cool.
So just before that happens, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna put up on the.
Before that happens, I'm gonna throw up.
I'm gonna put up on the Twitch here a wonderful picture that Jordan drew of Goliath.
Beat Goliath!
We now have
Awesome.
as
Cowboy hat
the
and all.
captain of the ship, a kind of gruff dwarf. So,
And if you missed it, that cowboy hat, huge reveal. Go back. Check out episode 1.
I truly cannot think of like a moment I've remembered more from this game than when I said a cowboy hat and you all were like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Stop.
We didn't know.
He comes out
We didn't know what was lurking beneath deck.
He comes out and is like, yeah, Relic was telling me about this. He kind of takes a peek at it and he's looking around. And he's like, what, wait, Flute, did you say you know who the maker of this or no? What did you say?
I did remember, but I've since forgotten.
No, you were talking about it. I remember. You took the time in the middle of combat to talk about who made the. You were like talking about it. And you were like, oh, great.
I didn't write it down, and
No, but you
things were
said
moving
it.
so fast.
Oh, well, do
you-
I remember?
You
I'm
hear
asking the dungeon master.
you hear Relic's voice from kind of like the above slot, and he goes, "It looks like a floral piece to me."
That's it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's what you said, Florian. And you knew it like immediately. It was like second nature when you looked at that thing. You were like, Florial, I'd know that anywhere.
I have a follow-up question. What does that mean?
Relic crosses the song and goes
Seconded.
like, "Yeah, Goliathan, what does that mean?" And Goliathan's like, "Well, could mean a lot of things. I'm worried about it." He says, "I know it's not helpful. I'm sorry." He's kind of like thinking and adjusts his hat and does pull out like a cigar, and lights it. And with like arcane flame as well, that is like less flammable because he's cautious around his ship. And he's like
Out of his fingertip? That's awesome.
yeah, he's got a little like coin that does it.
That rolls.
And he kind of leans against a barrel that is. He's like, "Flute, you put this barrel here?" Good barrel.
I did, just as a seat.
Oh, don't lean against that.
There's a jar in it.
It's empty.
He kind of wobbles a little bit. He's like,
Oh, I guess an empty barrel still is pretty
It's full of
heavy.
rare gases.
he's
Withdrawn.
like, "Well, if it's a floral piece, then that means the elves that your friend ate, K.A.I, we don't want anything to do with them, because that means they're, Floral's more of a legend. I mean, people don't even know if he's real. They just, but those elves are probably looking for him. That's my guess." Relative,
Well,
yeah, and there could. I mean, it means there could have been a lot more there. So,
That's true. Janice knows everything that those elves knew, I think.
what do you mean?
Well, he said that when he consumes a sentient being as well as gaining their form to take, he gains their memories.
Well, that's messed up.
Yeah. Is it? I guess so.
Yes, it super is.
What? Okay. Well, fair
It's
enough.
like a Black Mirror.
What? No,
Goliathan's
you sit.
Like,
You sit in your anachronism.
Goliathan's like,
Moonboy has sight beyond sight. He's seen the 5th season.
I do like that as a thing that, like, in the way that you kind of do other things that don't make sense, sometimes just, like, your mumbo-jumbo lines up with, like, real
He
ones.
throws
He's seen the alternate timeline.
Exactly. He knows about micro machines, Pringles,
BattleBots.
Twizzlers.
battle bots. Absolutely.
Goliathan's like, well,
That's canon.
let's just say we should be careful about who sees that we have this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who knew
Is
the
it
harp would be
valuable?
more dangerous than the ooze?
If it's an actual floral piece, yes.
He said that they used it to travel to the astral plane.
Who
That's
said
what
that?
he said. The Janice, the ooze.
He looks down at your jar and he's like, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah, he can hear you.
He goes,
He's shy. He's being shy. It's okay, Janice.
you hear it, like, what is a more tempered amount of voices to go, "Yes, I can. I thank you. You you made the verdict of me being here. Yes, I appreciate coming along. I've promised to not eat any of them.
Well.
Goliath's like, well, that's kind of y'all. And he goes, what, do you know what they were looking for? And Janice goes, Florial. Themselves. And he goes, well, I was afraid of that. Well, okay. That's good to know. I'm glad we didn't stick around. And Relic is clearly annoyed at all this whole conversation and just kind of like goes and sulks up by his ballista.
Is Florial a person?
Yes, I'm also interested.
Well, and Goliathan kind of like kicks back, sits down on a stool that he brought out with him from his chambers and leans back, and he's like, I'll tell you a story, I'll tell you what I know, if y'all want to know about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Everyone take a pickle.
Yes, give me some of the pickles. Everybody.
All right, everyone take pickle.
Everybody pickle round.
Sit
yeah.
cross-legged on the floor, and I still look him in the eyes.
Give me real quick, give me what is like a little comfort your character has as you all are kind of like taking a load off here in this moment.
The Moonboy definitely has his small moon firm, which is a strange plant that he was carrying when he was discovered.
Yes.
And I think in his downtime he sort of cares for it and tends to it and
like almost prunes it.
Confides in it.
Okay, cool. Great. All right, and what else? Give me some more comforts.
Probably feeding everyone is comforting to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here
you go, pickle. I loved you. One for you. I love you.
Welcome to Pickle Pals.
It's me, K.A.I, the pickle miser.
Deep cut.
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're just kind of like caring for everyone.
Fussing. I sit like close as like up front like a brown noser kid, and I take my Githka in my lap and sharpen it with a black crystal stone.
Cool. Yeah, doing your like routine of just cleaning and caring.
Yeah.
Great.
Basic maintenance.
Great.
Ithaca maintenance. Flute has a lute in a case down below deck, but he does not like to play it around everyone else. But that's what he would do if he was by himself. But I'm gonna go over by Relict, who's sitting there, and I'm kind of assume his annoyed body posture and kind of like, yeah, these jerks, right?
Yeah, he hold on a minute. He looks at you and is like, you know I don't care what you do, right?
But I think we're both harp aficionados. I mean, I didn't know that you knew so much about harps.
Harp aficionados. Oh. I think the first rule of being a harp aficionado is that you never admit it even to another harp aficionado.
Yeah, he gives you like a little like, okay, like look, and he's like, I didn't know that about you either. And like gives you like a little bit of a meaningful look with that. And cool. So yeah, Goliathan's like, well, it's more of a legend. It's kind of like, people like talking about it as though they ran into him at a bar, but none of them. I mean, there's people don't know who the heck they are. But they're famous because they're a wizard that is very powerful and hasn't ever picked any kind of side, that they seem to have been involved in, this war and that war and this great heist and that heroic rescue, but no one really knows they stand for anything. So it's more of just like when do they show up kind of situation. And it's always legend, you know, that Florial's never lost a fight. So people are always kind of looking for him to figure out if they can get them on their side. Because, you know, if you can get Florial's help, he kind of nods, trying to really put cross the I's and dot the T's with his story. And Goliath's like, then, you know, you're on the winning team. So some people think the wizard went a little too far with their experimentation, because they're known to do things that no one else can. The famous story is that they stole a whole elven armada with just a team of pirates.
Wow.
No one knows how they got past the defenses. No one knows how they got into the helms. But anyway, so yeah, supposedly Florial's always been able to do some magic that other people can't. Other people don't have access to, and you know, that's a high commodity. That's all I know.
Wait a minute.
Maybe if we find him and give him his harp back, he'll want to be our friend.
Have you guys ever seen Windrider and Florial in the same room together at the same time?
You know, I have to say I have not. You might be onto something there, Moonboy.
My God.
And they both know a lot about harps.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, I'm cooked. I'm gonna go sleep this one off.
You always say such cool stuff, Goliath.
I really do get the sense that
cooked.
Goliathan is someone Harlan for sure knows in real life.
Yeah.
I love it.
Drinking and jamming again.
I'm used to that.
Drinking and jamming.
But he nods and is like, K.A.I, Klik, you got this? Because you all don't sleep, so he knows that you all will
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
up the ship.
Please.
We'll keep us moving.
You're cooked.
Yep. He's like, all right, night. And he kind of goes back into his cabin, his quarters. And yeah, you all can, if you want to do anything else before the end of the night, you can, but you all are able to take a long rest at this point.
Okay.
For the chat, for those new to D&D, they get all their spell slots back and their hit points back every time they sleep through the night, so it's a important thing to do.
I'm going to, once everyone is asleep who's sleeping, I'll take my loot out of its case and maybe go to like the lowest like area of the ship and like play a song or two, kind of unwind. And then when I can roll for the stealth if you want, but when I come back in, I'm going to sneak over to where Moonboy sleeps in this area with the hammock, and with my dagger, I'm going to carve Windrider in sort of stylish letters, like above his hammock.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to sleep.
All right, man.
Absolutely. I absolutely want you to roll a stealth check. First of all, as we have established that
one, just absolutely eat it. Just I like fall into his hammock like.
In fact, I will say that you get up on some like crates. You all sleep in this communal like hammocked area, and you kind of like are getting yourself above the ceiling, like to get up to the underneath the deck there, and to carve it, and you get wind out. And then there's just this like wobble, and you fall onto Moonboy and wake him up.
Just a full on Marv from Home Alone.
Yeah.
So there is wind carved above your Moonboy's hammock.
I'll sort of slink back to my
Turbulence, I suppose.
What are you doing in here? I was having a dream. I thought you were Windrider. We were surfing the stars, man. We were jamming, fighting creatures side by side. Wait, what's this? It says wind. Was Windrider here? Wait.
I'll just sort of like pathetically nod in the dark.
Flute. Was half of Windrider here?
The top half or the bottom half?
Which half?
Oh my god.
You hear Goat's voice go, I'm gonna rip both of you in half if you don't go to sleep right now.
Goat, Windrider, half of Windrider was here.
I feel so blessed that there's someone sneaking around on our ship. It's so great.
It protects us, man.
I
think it might be Florio.
So you all get, back to your kind of cozy up, Flute, you go back, sulk back in shame, and let's cut up to the crow's nest, where we find K.A.I and Klik just kind of sitting up there because neither of you all sleep. So I imagine, but you do have a bit of a responsibility, at least one of you, to like kind of keep watch. Even though you would know the ship would kind of stop if you came close to anything, but still, it's just good to know. So what does this look like? As it's like a common routine for you all too. What does this look like as you all are hanging out up here?
What do you think? Boggle tournament?
Sure, scrabbling. Scrabbling hard.
Yeah. I think
playing dragon chess. Maybe I'm trying to teach her.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to assimilate. So I think we settle into a place on the sort of on the first. I don't think we're in the crow's nest. That would be.
Oh, sure. You can be a different place. I just did that for dramatic.
Yeah.
So you can be wherever you'd like.
Sure.
Is dragon chess a real thing?
Everything is a real thing. It's D&D.
Yeah.
It's in the player's handbook,
quit
man.
ruining everything,
Nice.
Jordan.
Is an ooze named Janis Joplin a real thing?
I just wanted to. I wanted to look it up.
Janis Droplet.
Sorry, Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
It's okay. It happens all the time.
All right.
Do you think
Curse these bug ears.
that Florian was down on that asteroid?
No. I mean, if it crashed, then how would they wouldn't have found him. That would be so coincidental.
Wait.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's true. But I still am not clear on why they crashed. Did someone tell us that?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think we know. Maybe Janice got all up in their gears and
But
didn't
Janice
modify the ship.
But Janice was on the asteroid, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
In retrospect, I should have asked the life-eating ooze more questions.
Well, she's still here. He's still here. It's still here. How are we gendering the ooze?
I'm
It
still
doesn't
here.
see.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
You just keep
Do you not have her with you?
Yeah.
I'm
Sure
going,
I
I'm going
do.
to her
You
now.
just yeah. Okay. You just carry Janice with you in the jar now. Now
Janice
it's just
seems
Just
very
for now.
indifferent about gender, and it says if it's easier for you, you can call me
sure.
a her.
How did the ship crash on the planet?
It seems, from what I know of the elves, their minds. Is it okay if I talk about that? You all seem to not like it. Is it okay that I talk about that I have eaten them and have all of their thoughts?
I mean, we know it. So
yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
let's
well,
not beat around the jar.
The people
here.
you've eaten in the past are in the past.
Yes. So anyway, when I
Always forget
decayed
that.
their organic bodies and
Maybe don't fully describe it.
Yeah, using your fluids.
Yeah.
got it. And there's just kind of this like amorphous face
Less information.
inside of the jar that is like moving a mouth that is talking to you all as well.
Now that's upsetting.
Unsettling.
Do you know how to look like pickles?
It can conjure a single pickle that you
Oh,
put in there, like that. It
Oh my
seems to
god,
be
it's
inside
Pickle
of you.
Janice.
Oh, good. All right. You know what? I like it.
It makes a tiny little mouth on the pickle too, and it's like, is this better?
It
Yes.
is weirdly, yeah.
Yes.
I feel more comfortable with Pickle Janice.
And they're like, well, I know that it was attacked by the boulette, but
But wasn't that
How
after
does it
they
crash?
crashed?
no, they were there looking for something, and the boulette was also there.
They didn't crash. So they
The
landed
boulette
there.
crashed the ship. That is true.
Oh. Did you write help or did the elves?
The elves did.
Interesting.
I found them after that.
And where did you come from?
I'm not sure.
What's the first thing you remember?
Is it your memory or is it something you ate?
That's deep.
I have a
Like, can you have memories of your own?
I have a sense of being connected to something else before I existed. And now I first was fed rats and had their sensibilities on top of just the vague feelings. And now, as I was able to amass more sentient creatures, I was able to hold on to thoughts and feelings for longer.
You were fed rats
Yes.
by someone?
Well, I think, as I did not seek them or go after them, but then after I had the strength from consuming a few rats, I was then able to go after things on my own.
Do you know anything about Florian?
I do not.
Florial?
Florian?
Florian?
Florial.
Florial?
Florial.
Yeah.
I heard you say that name, and I was interested, but I do not know. It sounds like someone I would like to eat. Although I understand that you do not like that.
Yeah. Please. Probably shouldn't. Yeah. Eat the all-knowing wizard.
Right. Klik, maybe you could have a conversation with Janice about,
Have you heard of
what it's like to
storytelling?
have urges to eat people that you know that you should not follow.
Do you also consume, Klik, things for sentience?
No. I gather that all on my own. I eat stuff because it tastes good. And I need it to make my body move, you know?
I do
But
like
my
this.
brain does its own stuff.
That makes sense. I'm working on that. I did like this pickle, though. Do you have other things that are meant for eating?
Yes? Are you hungry? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
What do you
Hey,
eat?
just give me one moment.
When you consume the elves, do you get to taste them?
No, it's more of interesting to absorb them. So,
That's less fun.
I learn about them when this is slimy. I've learned this word. I've pulled this out. The pickle felt slimy.
I rush back a few moments later with it looks like when Scooby and Shaggy find the kitchen in the haunted house and they make themselves a bunch of snacks. Kind of looks like that.
Sure.
Just like a bunch of salami and bread and pickles. There's more pickles.
Yeah.
Don't open
All
the
sorts of
jar,
stuff.
though. Don't open
That
the
big
jar to put
sandwich.
that sandwich in there.
That big sandwich that has a whole fish in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely got a couple of those.
I sneak a fish out the side.
For everyone.
Cool. So yeah, you just you open the jar up and put the sandwich in.
You're going to have to be less liberal about opening the jar.
It's true. We're not supposed to open the jar.
Yeah, I'm not super down with opening the jar for snack time. I can't fight the Ooze,
no.
if he decides to be.
Yeah, Kai, you
Bad
find
Ooze.
yourself in the moment, like you having gone to get the sandwich, and now then being like, oh, how do I? And you realize you have to open the jar in order to feed it to the Ooze.
I am stuck between my two most basic instincts. To feed a friend and to not disappoint my friends. Oh, no.
Do not Do not open the dangerous jar of sentient
Maybe
ooze to
just
give
a
him a
little.
sandwich.
Maybe we could just a little crack.
Do not
and
kill
give
all your friends for an
the
ooze you just
sandwich.
met.
Just
Janice
a
is like,
little.
Hey, cruise before ooze.
Well,
Cruise before it.
didn't
I mean,
need
I
to
feel
call in
like-
a fucking orbital strike on that conversation, man. I guess you win.
Janice is like, she's like, I have promised to not eat you.
It's true, he
not a
did
promise.
promise.
I mean, the Moon Boy's not here, but Cruise before is.
Oh, it's incredible.
In your dreams, you're like chuckling because
Yeah, the Moon Boy below deck
filtered through your consciousness.
bursts into silent sleep, into soft, sleepy chuckles in his dreams.
Klik, you don't think we could just, I mean, the jar was our idea. It wasn't mandated. We could just open it a little and give him some snacks, and then we could close it, and then he would have learned about snacks, and we would be developing a relationship that would, building trust together using fish.
You're pretty new to friends, but most of the time there isn't an overarching threat of death. Even if he
Don't you have
pinky
that all
swears.
the time, though?
I'm pretty good at fighting.
Oh, that's true.
I'm
But I
pretty
just
good
meant in
at it.
general.
But
Well-
he knows about pickles. Maybe we just leave it at pickles until
Okay,
we form
all
a little
right.
bit more of it. And I'm happy to eat the sandwich. You've done a wonderful
We're going
job.
to start with pickles, and we're going to figure this. Maybe we can develop like a one-way valve or something
Yeah.
where like we maintain the seal. But I'll work on that.
A
Hey,
sandwich
you know,
lock.
wait, I'm an artificer. There's no one better to work on this project
True.
in the universe besides me.
Yeah, you should
It is
build a
per-
vessel.
It is perfectly
Sandwich
tailored
valve.
to my individual skill set.
Just gonna make him a little hamster tube with like connect.
Yes. I start doing
airlock.
I start doing equations, sketches.
Okay, do you all need to remind me from your character sheets? Do you all need to rest, like not be doing anything during the time, or does it matter? Can you all like do things through the night?
Oh, yeah, I have to spend 6 hours in inactive, motionless state.
Okay, cool.
As long as I'm not moving about, I believe I am good to go.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're kind of encroaching on that period at this point now. So Kai, you wouldn't be able to do artificing work tonight, but
Right.
yeah, but you could.
Yeah,
you could
tomorrow.
definitely- Yes. Yeah. Cool.
But I can stay up here. I can see and hear as normal. So
Cool.
you can talk. I'm a great
Yeah.
listener.
I just try and teach the ooze Scrabble.
Okay. Okay.
And badly because I'm just learning.
Yeah. Yeah. You just have like a bag of tokens with letters on them. And,
Yeah.
Dragon chess is definitely just Scrabble.
Yeah.
And the Janice has a very hard time as she can't move any pieces around, so she has to tell you.
Yeah.
And she also it speaks Elvish better than she does Common, and so she's just like having a rough time. But
Neither of us speak Common very well, so the spell check is not great.
Yeah, so you all kind of have this like clearly just curing the boredom moments throughout the night, getting distracted and coming back to it, and you continue on. Kai kind of goes into your pause state. Flute and Moonboy and the rest of the crew are sleeping in the hammocks below. Goliath tucked away in his cabin, and you wake. Man, the chat loves Cruise before
Yeah.
News. It's just
It's
legendary.
huge.
It's incredibly good.
It's the most important T-shirt of
I was about to say.
It'll save our lives.
Any potential merch
When
questions?
that merch is coming, it's
Yeah.
Cruise before Ooze.
The chat has already decided that.
What about cruising for an oozing? Now, why try to read?
Why?
I don't think we need
You
to
know?
punch it up.
It's already got the cherry on top. No Sunday need.
You're right.
And you are you are awoken to the kick out of terminal speed, as you all are kind of in this resting space, and for you, Klik, it's just like the lights being turned on almost, where it goes from this blur that is all surrounding and almost like a hum, a visual hum, and then you click out to it and everything is just in focus and around you, and there is a very large debris field that is scattered about for like miles and miles around. It's almost like coming up against a wall that you could go through, because it's just bits of things all over the place. And which is not uncommon. This is not you get kicked out of the terminal speed for a lot of reasons, like coming across another ship, coming across asteroids, things like that. But often a very common one is things like this, like debris fields or asteroid belts, things like that. But this is a very large one, even for y'all's standards, of just like a huge, almost wall of debris. So that's what. But
it had woken us up down
in
the.
The feeling of the ship kind of like clicking out is, especially after you all have slept for a bit. It's that rooster in the morning.
But we did get long rested.
You did get long rested. Yep.
Cool. Sweet. I'll kind of like stumble half awake up to deck to see what the trouble is.
Cool. Yeah, and you see just a real flotsam and jetsam, real just like junk yard of all types of things. It doesn't seem to be. Actually, roll a perception check. We'll have you do it, Flute, since you started first. And if and Klik, you can do one too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm on the deck.
17.
Nope. Apparently I missed it. I rolled a 7.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're up there you're where you are with K.A.I and Janice. So when you're kind of kicked out, your first instinct is like watch the Ooze. So you're more focused on that to make, and it doesn't move around. It doesn't throw things around on the ship. It's just a different feeling. But Flute, when you step out, your kind of adrenaline is already kicking your panic mode, and you see what looks like there's like a bunch of like dirt clods, and they all have their own like individual bubbles, like big masses of stuff. There's a lot of dirt, and some you even see bits of organic growth here and there, which is a little odd. It's mostly just like some lichen on things here and there, and a little bit of maybe some mushroom growth in this spot or that spot. And then the glow and the light from your ship is kind of like lighting up this area. The artificial light you have on the ship is kind of a beam off of you, an aura of light. And it just is very hard to see the end of this on either side, kind of like around you all. So do you have any specific questions about? I feel like you do from the face you're making.
No, I was just taking it in.
Okay, cool.
Just has a slight question on his face.
Yeah.
Do I run?
Yeah. Does it look like a planet exploded, basically?
Not quite, in the sense that it is a planet exploding would have more of a. It seems more like a pool filter than an explosion, if that makes sense.
Also, this is. Oh, sorry.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
This is more of a macro question. When we make these runs, do we generally travel by like known routes, or is it kind of just a random travel line every single time?
There are known routes that you kind of follow, but it's more of it's a constantly shifting playing field a little bit. So as there are lots of things floating around in space, so it is not uncommon for you to come across something that was not there before. It's more about getting from point A to point B a bunch of times, and you often wind here and there as you all are traveling.
Okay, cool.
So would this have been like an automatic response of the ship, or
Yes.
would Goliathan? Okay.
Okay.
I would like to call Goliathan on the setting stone.
Yeah, he's like, seems like we got a nice big old wall, huh? You think can you all get it? All I can kind of get is the front and bow trajectory. I can't quite. Does it seem like we could go around this? Should we go through this? What are y'all's optics? He kind of goes on.
Does it look like
party
that
line.
from the crow's nest?
No. I mean, you can give. You absolutely can give a check. I think you should.
I guess if it's like as far as the eye can see, then it's as far as the eye can see. But I was going to ask if when I look out at this, if I have any idea what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, you can do a perception check.
Okay. Not my best, but still good. 18.
18. This is some sort of a gravitational field is stopping these things from just like continuing to float on in space. Which would mean to you, but it's odd that it's not orbiting it.
Interesting.
So
It's some sort of gravitational field, boss.
he's like, yeah.
It's a collaborative electro-resonance.
He's like, well, all right. He goes, Relic, shoot at it. And you all see Relic kind of like moving up. He's like, okay, and he's like moving up from below deck and latches himself into the ballista, and there's a as he fires his large ballista into the field, and it just kind of through it. It just continues on until you hear like a clunk as it finally connects with something. And
we can't see what it connected with.
no, you can't. It is as some pieces of just like dirt clods almost slowly float toward the ship and kind of hit its bubble of orbit and just float around you all a bit as it seemed to just break up a dirt clod.
Could we? Does it look like maybe we could get like long poles or oars and just kind of nudge it and go through? Huh? Let's nudge. Let's just keep going.
I mean, how thick is it? Like, how dense is the dirt piles?
You can't really see into it just from the light that's radiating from your ship. So you don't know quite how far it is.
But it seems to like bounce off of our little self-contained atmosphere when the clods hit it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Can we just putt through it?
Yeah. Tell him it's just dirt. It's just dumb dirt.
All right, easy. We'll get up there, and y'all get up there with poles and just trying to push the big bits out of the way if anything gets too close.
Okay. Well, do we have like poles for this?
You do. Yeah.
Okay.
We did this.
I was gonna say
fun little behind the scenes chat. We did a mini session where we just did some to get used to things, and you all established that you have like big long poles
dirt
for,
pushers,
kind of gondolier
Did they
to
have,
knock things off of the hull poles.
Did they have hooks on the end for retrieving things as well?
I mean, they did. You did fish Moonboy out, so I'm gonna
yes,
say yes.
and
like a classic boat hook.
And those boat hooks exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I not that
just like for
Moonboy is
scooping stuff out of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would imagine Klik is pretty well versed in using,
I'll
pole arm.
Take a pole and jump up to the crow's nest and try and dislodge some of the top stuff.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Kind of like so one of you is up front with it, kind of pushing things out of the way. The other
I can do that. I will do that.
Cool.
Can I also use magic? Can I use my lightning launcher to sort of blast things out of the way if I need to?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Does it cost slots to do that?
No.
Cool. Yeah. Well, you
It's
can.
part of my infiltrator armor.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Goat's up there with you, Moonboy, the big giant
Yes.
Goliath woman, and
Nice.
she's making, kind of keeping there's a rope tied to you too to make sure you don't.
Honestly, I think it's probably more like Goat is doing most of the pushing, and I'm kind of like, we're a team. I'm supervising.
Yes, absolutely.
Great work.
Cool. All right. So let's have, as you all kind of move through this, it's almost like moving through a dense jungle, as the bubble is taking a lot of the bits of earth, like the smaller, just like fist size things floating around here and there slowly, and they're kind of building up on the edges of the bubble. Your gravity plane goes across the ship, so as things hit it, they kind of are sucked down to it, and then they just wobble there for a little bit and are cast free. But you do have this kind of like line of dirt around the perimeter of the ship. But you all are, that one's not the main stuff that you're trying to do is keep the bigger, like cannonball to house-sized chunks out of the way from pushing into your orbit. And you're able to do that fairly successfully, as they're just, bits here and there. But let's have, there's a particularly large chunk as you all are going in, and it usually as you're traveling through space like this too, like the light is able to just kind of go and go and go, but since it's muddied a bit by the dirt, you have this kind of like lantern in a cave vibe with as you push through and are now just surrounded by this.
Sure.
So let's have Klik and Moonboy. I want both of you to give me a strength saving throw. And as you all come across a section that has particularly big chunks.
It's a 19.
A 19 for me as well.
All right, yeah. You all are able to, no problem, you see this almost pile of boulders. Somebody just said moonsplaining is the funniest shit in the world.
Oh my god. So good.
Moonsplaining to
Very
Goat
good.
how to
Moonsplaining.
Very
Holy
good.
clear the
shit.
dirt.
Shout out.
Yes, you got that
Ooh.
big one. Watch out for the big boulders. And actually, in the scrimmage, there were worms, so look out for that.
Yeah, and you, Moonboy, you kind of like get lifted off the ground a little bit, and Goat just kind of teeter-totters you back down, and it
Sure.
flips this large bit up. And Klik is kind of surprised by how fast it's moving, but is able to use its momentum against itself and just push it off the side.
Nice rolls.
And then let's have Flute and K.A.I do perception checks.
Can I do like a nature check? Well, okay, perception.
Dirty 20.
Great.
3.
You are trying to explain what different foods taste like to Janice, and so you're just kind of distracted by that. And Flute, you're...
I love that everything's in reference to a pickle.
Yeah.
Right. Imagine a pickle. that
Sorry.
Imagine a pickle starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
And you, Flute, as you hear them kind of talking, and you're again doing your thing where if you stay kind of between folks, it looks like you're connected to the work with them. And when you do that, you see above you, above the ship, one of the big giant clods moves in a direction that is not something floating, but instead is something like pushing its way to move, and it's like a push off of one of the clods, and it moves down kind of like to the left side of the ship.
I'll. Look! That That one's moving. That one's moving. It's coming for us.
Going full Shemp.
Yeah.
All right, let's have everyone else do perception checks. Now that Flute has pointed it out.
Am I doing another one?
Yes.
18.
17.
3.
You're just still rambling on.
You're so used
Bread.
to
It's a pickle, but like a sponge,
Like
and
spongy.
Imagine a sequel to the first pickle, which I described.
and you all see again this large like clod of dirt push itself off of another one, and it pushes itself by pulling tentacles out of the side of it that are also dirt covered, and it has 6 of them, and it pushes off this, and then you see it kind of like get the momentum toward you all, and it flips itself up a bit, and you just see this. Truly, it looks like a giant dirt clod that's in a cone shape, and a big mouth opens, and 6 tentacles around it, and it's just flying toward the ship right now. And that's where we'll pick it up next week.
K.A.I, look alive!
I'm trying to describe things.
That's no clod. Yikes! Like a big crazy nautilus clod.
Dirt
thing.
clod.
Clod
Sounds
monster.
like a really sketchy French guy.
I am Dirt Clod.
I am Dirt Clod.
I sell premium dirt.
Jean-Claude
Fancy
Van
dirt.
Would you like to buy some Molly? It is fake.
Jean-Claude Van Dirt
very
is like
good.
the weird translation of Joe Dirt to Dutch.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks everyone so
God.
much for jumping in here. I see so many
Yeah.
familiar names in the
Whoa.
chat. It's really nice to be able to hang out with you all on a Monday night.
Wait. Fast time Cobb at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
All right, it wasn't that good. Sorry.
It's okay. Do you want to try again?
Oh, Aaron, no.
Wait, get it. I'm going to get a nosebleed.
Okay, well, thank you so much, y'all. We'll see you next week. We'll be back next week. We have the DM show on Thursday as well on the same channel. So if you have subscribed here, you will, or followed us here, you'll get a little notification. Come hang out. Andrew and I will be talking about DMing with a guest. And yeah.
Shout out our sponsor, Big Top Productions.
Big Tops Productions.
Pip of a pure. Big
wouldn't-
Top
this wouldn't be
Productions.
happening without him, yeah.
Ooh,
Because-
fast slimes at Ridgemont High. Fast slimes at Ridgemont Slimes. Fast slime.
Blood just trickling out of your eye. Like Harlan mentioned, we do have a Patreon, and we're going to give all the money that we get for that for bail relief, Freedom Fund Colorado, which if you just have money you just want to throw around,
Yeah.
you should donate there. It's
Just
great.
do it anyway.
Donate
Great
there,
nonprofit.
or any bail fund, or Reclaim the Block is a great organization, but they've gotten a ton of donations. But if you go to their Twitter, they've shared a really great comprehensive list of other organizations.
Yeah, we'll share them
are
on our Twitter
approved.
too.
Yeah,
Let's
cool.
tweet a couple of those out. But yeah, that's all we have tonight, right? Anybody else?
Yeah. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight, guys. This
Thanks,
is so much
Chad.
fun.
It was so fun.
You
I
guys
can
are the
t-
best.
I can tell that I'm having a lot of fun because it's I'm always so sweaty by the end, and I want to keep going.
The definition of fun.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye, guys.
I love you.